I'm Monique Tauter from AfriForum and we are attending CPAC 2020. We spoke to a few people to ask them how they feel about the situation in South Africa. Why do you think private property rights are important?
What I really believe in is just your ability to create a life for yourself and for the government to be limited in the way that it cannot oppress you. And when the government can take your land where your home is, that is the true meaning of a lack of freedom. And I'm sorry that you guys are going through that. I hope what my message to anybody experiencing this is to read up on history and how other movements have seized the property from the people and seized the means of production from major industries in the country, and how that has absolutely failed every time it's been implemented.
Do you think that private property rights are important?
Absolutely. That's one of the cornerstones of a free society.
So do you think that socialism can work?
Never. It has never worked anywhere. I'm from Panama, and I was there when Noriega took power, and it was horrible because people lose all freedoms. The government owns you. You don't have, you don't become yourself anymore. Like, you are part of the government. The government can tell you what to think, what to do, and it's very, very bad. And we don't want that here in the United States or South Africa. Please, South Africans, this is your only chance. Don't let socialism get there.
Do you think that socialism can work?
No, absolutely not. Socialism cannot work, and I don't know what you guys have been experiencing in your country, but in America we have Bernie Sanders, who for decades has praised socialism in terms of seizing the means of production, nationalizing industries, and he's telling American students that if we scrap capitalism, we'll end up like Denmark, not like Venezuela or any of the other socialist countries that have failed before. And so what we try and bring up now is that Denmark is capitalist. This is not adding up, Bernie. He is lying to the American people, especially my generation, about what kind of political system Denmark has. Denmark has a capitalist economy, but they have huge government programs and high taxes. That's different from a socialized economy. And so that, I call that the biggest lie of American politics in 2020.
Do you think that socialism can work?
I think for the most part, I would say no. I would generally say absolutely not. Any sort of political or philosophical system that's founded on an egalitarian sort of foundation, it will always fail. Absolutely will always fail.
Do you think that socialism can work?
Absolutely not. And in fact, I think we're seeing a huge resurgence of this idea of limited government and individual freedom when it comes to activism here in the United States. There's definitely a rise of socialism when it comes to our politics, but an equal rise in saying that will never come to America.
And do you have a specific message for people living in South Africa?
Read up on history and figure out how socialist movements have always come to power so that you can understand the tactics and then work actively against them to stand up for your freedom.
And do you have any message for the people living in South Africa?
Just keep fighting for what you believe in. You know, it can be difficult when the government tries to implement policies that are counterintuitive to freedom and individual liberty, but the most powerful voice is that of one citizen, and sometimes that's all it takes to start a movement.
Do you have a message for farmers in South Africa?
So to farmers in South Africa, there's an increasing awareness in the United States and Europe for the plight of South African farmers, the violence that's being enacted against them as they're being, and now the land confiscation is, I mean, I don't know how that's exactly progressing, but I know those bills have increased in their intensity. I think, is it Ramaphosa who's the...
Yes, Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, his rhetoric gets worse. I think the economic freedom fighters, I mean, everyone, at least in the United States, in these sort of spheres, are starting to really get concerned with, the aggressive, violent, dehumanizing rhetoric for the government in South Africa in particular.